Oh no. This thing is in bad shape, guys.
You're looking at like $5,712.
I think I may have found the issues. Fingers crossed this is it. This thing does run well. The inspector just drove it. Are you kidding me? That could be making a bad contact. Guys, do not buy BMWs with this engine. We are about to make my $3,000 auction BMW X6 50i. A roughly, I don't know, hopefully $10,000 to $15,000 X6. And even though it has what I'm pretty sure is BMW's worst engine ever made, the N63, I got lucky and was able to fix it for, well, not a lot of money at all. And that's because after finding a trouble code pointing to an issue with the cam timing of the exhaust cam on bank 2, I removed and cleaned out the Vanos solenoids for the camshaft adjusters and the code went away. The engine also ran perfectly and it didn't set the code for days, but during my first real test drive, after about 2 minutes, another code popped up, but this time it was just for a bad ignition coil, and I replaced it with a known good used coil from one of my other past broken BMWs. Something else I fixed was this right here. See this? Before, the body was much closer because we had blown out airbags in the back, which if you guys didn't see that video, was a total DIY project. I was able to fix that for less than $400. So what's a guy to do? But continue on to try and make his BMW look brand new. That rhymes. Now I already have some of the mechanical parts, but there are a few on order, so we're gonna start off with all the cosmetics. Oh, no way that worked. Because from far away, this car looks really good both outside and inside. But if you get up closer, it could use a little bit of a refresh to be a really, really nice car. So let's give it a refresh. First step is to continue on with these stickers, and this is kind of interesting. There are 2 of these stickers on here. And I think that's because this thing went through some arbitration. And I'd found paperwork proving this, but that means this thing was returned. So someone bought this at the auction, got it home, and then realized it had all sorts of like horrible issues, and then they were able to return it to the auction because it wasn't listed that way. And that happens a lot on older cars. They try to hide stuff, and then you have to fight it for them to take it back and end up paying money and stuff. It's not that easy. But anyway, that's what this car is. And I'm really surprised that, oh, okay. I was gonna say, I'm really surprised these stickers are coming off nicely, but this one is not. Oh, that'll be fun. Yeah. The auction did replace the battery. Woo, nice. I don't know what this means, MERD, but it's coming off right now. Goodbye, MERD. All right, that's gone. There was a sticker there that, well, parts of it are still there, but we need to take this off. This is ridiculous. See ya. What in the world were they thinking? It's some kind of edge guard, but it's like carbon fiber or something. And yeah, this too. Go away, fake M. Look at that. That kind of actually looks cool. It's like the ghost M badge. You're not an M. Before we clean up this paint, we're gonna get the fake M adhesive off. So we'll heat it up a little bit. With it warmed up, these little plastic razor blades work pretty well. I'll definitely get the big top layer off. And then a little adhesive remover or rubbing alcohol and elbow grease, and you should have this off in a few minutes. We'll hit it with the buffer a little later, but that is cleaned up, and now we can get to the wash. Do you guys know anyone that says wash instead of wash? I'm in Illinois, so we're close to Indiana, and people say that. They say wash. And I can make fun of people in the way that they talk because I'm from Chicago. Chicago, that's how I say it. And we can't even get probably the incorrect pronunciation right because then there's some people that say Chicago. I think those are Southsiders. I say Chicago, they say Chicago. Both are probably wrong, but that's what we do. And the best part is we argue about it. Anyway, I'm gonna get to washing my car. One last thing before we wash it. I'm gonna get that out of here. I hate front plates, guys. They're mandatory here. Are they mandatory where you live? All right, you guys have seen a million car wash videos, so let's make this quick. First step, you wet the car with water like that. With the car all wet, we're gonna blast it with some delicious foam. Oh yeah. All right, this part's kind of satisfying, I must say. Woo! Hit up the wheels, wheel wells, make this thing real nice and pretty. Now we have a super foamy wash mitt to clean up this paint. Oh yeah. Woo! The GN was already dirty. It needed a wash. It's getting one right after this. Look, yeah. This paint is like mint, but I got stuck in a little bit of rain and then it sat for a month. There you go. It's black. One downside of a black car, you can see everything. Now we just rinse it all away. Look at this paint. Yes. Look at the headlights that temporarily look better even though they're still in horrible condition. All right, X6 is rinsed off. And might as well just get this wet too. This is so cool. with the ceramic coating, just beads right off. Pretty fun drying the Grand National. You can just literally use air. It's awesome. Water just goes away. Get out of here, water. Since the X6 is wet, this would be a great time to run the old clay mitt over it. And that's because we're gonna be buffing the paint and we just wanna take anything out of the clear coat and it sticks to these. They're really nice. And we'll dry up the X6. So this will be ready. And I think what we're gonna do actually, we're gonna buff out these headlights first. The X6 is dry and it's already looking so much better. And I know this isn't a Buick Grand National video, but I mean, who doesn't like a clean GN? I love this thing. It's my go-to for like car shows and cruise nights. I got one on Friday. I'm taking that. And maybe the DeLorean. Oddly enough, I've never taken the McLaren, any of those. I do drive this car, but I don't know. I take the wagon though. This thing definitely gets put to use. And something else that gets a ton of use, not the upside down challenge game glasses, those are pretty fun. I'm talking about the amazing Fanttik tire inflator. I love these things. The portable Fanttik tire inflators are a lifesaver and they fit in everywhere. Here's one in the trunk of my C63 as well, and I have a few of these, well, because they've saved me so many times. Having a portable Fanttik tire inflator can be the difference between being stranded sometimes in the middle of nowhere and simply filling your tire and continuing on with your trip. We all know how much it is to get a car towed. It's no fun, and these have very powerful batteries so they can charge up all of your devices, again, saving you if your phone, laptop, or tablet needs a charge on the go. They also have a super bright LED, and they can fill up balls, bike tires, ATV tires, and much more. They also have 3 different versions depending on what you're doing, so I keep the X9 Ultra in the back of my Chevy Express tow rig van. This thing is an absolute monster. They're fantastic for trucks if you're going off-roading because they'll fill tires like this in no time. The X8 Apex is the one I keep in all of my cars. It's the perfect size and it gets the job done every single time. I've been using these for years. Then they have their X9 Pro, which is smaller and perfect for things like electric bikes, balls, and car tires too. This thing is a beast. Hey Max.
What's up?
How many Fanttik tire inflators do you own?
My wife and I each have one in our dailies.
Here's another one.
Oh, sweet, dude. Is this some brand new?
Oh yeah, it's brand new.
Awesome.
Just got it out of the box.
Woo!
No way. I didn't know that. They give you the phone charger now too. That's awesome.
Oh, that's so convenient. Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
No problem. If you guys have always wanted one of these Fanttik portable tire inflators, now is the time to buy because they're having a big Amazon Prime sale. So I'm gonna leave the links and coupon codes down below. This is a massive sale that only happens once a year, and it is very limited, and sometimes these things do sell out. So take advantage, click on the links down below, and get yourself a tire inflator. All right, I've got the engine covered up so we don't get buffing compound everywhere with the headlights, but take a look at what I was able to accomplish without any wet sanding whatsoever. Look at the passenger side compared to the driver's side. And I want to show you guys how I did this. And normally I would wet sand, but you can go pretty far with a buffer. So if you don't want to wet sand, if you don't have the tools, check this out. I'm using a wool pad that is used. I don't think I would use this on the paint, but I save these for headlights, and we're gonna use a little bit of this heavy cut compound. And what we're going after here is mostly this top layer right here. You can actually feel this, and we're gonna exfoliate. All right, so we'll rub this right onto the headlight like so. And start buffing. And I'll spend a little bit more time on the very top of this. And after it's all spread out, you just wanna go kind of slow, like that. It's gonna put a little bit of heat into the lens, and that's gonna help lift up all of that crud. All right, so after about 3 minutes, let's see what we got. Oh yeah. And most of it is gone, just with one stage. Sweet. So we went from this all the way to this with just one pass with the coarse compound and the coarse pad. And now we're gonna swap this out for one of these guys. So a fine pad and some fine compound. This is gonna be much lighter, just like that. And we'll do the exact same thing again. Spend about 3 minutes or so, and this thing should be pretty good. There we go. This is after the fine compound, and now I'm just wiping it down with some rubbing alcohol as well in preparation for a little ceramic coating so the UV doesn't get to this and destroy it again. Wow, it's looking nice. Last step, a little ceramic coating, and this is just for protection. There we go. Let that dry for 60 seconds. and then wipe it off. Final wipe, what do we got? Oh, this is great, guys. Gotta remember what that stuff looked like before. Now take a look at it. Much clearer lens. This looks really good. Wow, and these are some good looking headlights. I love when they're blacked out inside. I kind of went after that same concept with the E55. Normally that's chrome in there. Just be careful when you do that, especially on older cars, because it will reduce the amount of light that shines through, and the brights don't work the best on that anymore. So it's just a cosmetic thing. Here's what both the headlights looked like at one point in time, but we are in a whole new point of time. I don't know what I'm saying, but look at these headlights. They look so good. This is a good looking front end. Say what you will about the X6 design, it being a coupe or whatever, but this is definitely before they went to the insane kidney grills that were like this big, and wow, does this look good. So far, I gotta say, I'm loving the X6. All right, we're gonna move on to some more satisfaction-y goodness. I'm gonna pull this guy up a little bit, my twin turbo V8. There we go. All right, so I don't know what happened here, but someone tried, I don't know, a Brillo pad or something, probably because they have a scuff here, and it does need a little touch up. But let's see how good we can make this look. We had pretty good luck on the headlights with the wool pad and the coarse compound, so let's give that a try first. I may have put a lot more than I thought I did on the pad, but that's okay. It's a bigger area here, never hurt. Go away, scratches. Ooh, I think this is working. I think this is working well. Woo, this thing's gonna look cherry. I mean, the paint actually does kind of look like a cherry. Yeah, it does. Wow. That is pretty. What do we have? What do we have? Oh man, this looks a million times better. Obviously, we have a little bit of touch-up work to do. I have to order the right touch-up paint, but oh yeah, this looks sweet, guys. This is great. This paint is gonna clean up beautifully. I have this lens in order as well, and the little headlight washer cover is coming. So obviously we're not going for perfection here. You guys have seen what I do to cars that I'm gonna keep, like the Grand National and the E55 wagon and many more. But this one I am going to sell back probably to the dealer auction. So I wanna show you guys how nice we can make a car with very, very little money and time. This will probably just take me one full day, and it will increase the value of this car substantially. So I don't even think the dealer auction counts bumper damage, but this car is actually in good shape, and we're gonna make it look that way instead of presenting it as this dirty, crusty car with yellowed out headlights and stuff. It doesn't deserve that. Now, although this car looks pretty good from far away, and buffing out all of the little scratches isn't gonna increase our value all that much if it's sold at a dealer auction, I wanted to see what I could do anyway, because this kind of stuff is fun for me. So this is what some of the paint looks like up close, lots of scratches. So I hit it with the two-step, a 1-2 punch, if you will. And just like the headlights, I did a coarse compound at first, and after the fine compound, it turned out like this. It actually didn't take that much work to get these results, and even though the auction pictures aren't always the best, I still think it'll look just a little bit better now. I haven't wiped the car down yet, so it's a little dusty, but I'm done with a lot of it. It's really not all that bad, so this is most likely the last kind of satisfaction-y goodness spot that I can show you, but this area right here gets beat up a lot, especially, you know, if you have a ski bag and you're loading your skis, you're always scratching this up. Did you guys know that this ski bag actually fits hoverboards too? Look at that. I bet you guys didn't know that it fits perfectly, just in case you need to, you know, hover. Oh my gosh, this thing really does hover. Look at that. Look at, oh, my arm's there, never mind. So let's lay out my Hot Wheels bed sheets that are definitely not mine. They're my son's, but honestly, it wouldn't be that weird if they were mine too. I would definitely sleep on these as an adult. I don't care. Just gonna see me sleep. And let's see if we can do a cool before and after on this right here. It's melting away the scratches. Melt! Actually, don't melt. That means you burn through the paint. Don't melt. Bad word, bad word. All right, let's see. How'd I do? Oh, this is looking much better. Definitely not perfect at all, but yeah, this looks good. Acceptable. It's 113,000 miles, people. It's a daily. It's good daily. Actually, with the history that these vehicles have of being, you know, very unreliable, probably not a good daily. But this is what we had before, and this is what we have after. There are definitely some larger scratches that can't be removed with just buffing, but that is just fine. It looks good. All right, guys, this is way more than a day's worth of work. But now that I've done the buffing, and even though there's a couple little parts on the way, I'm literally spraying ceramic coating all over the place. I said if the engine wasn't cracked, I would ceramic coat it. So let's do that. And while it's drying, we can move on to the interior and be efficient. Unlike the engine in this, twin turbo V8 with variable valve timing, all sorts of other complicated things, direct injection. 12 and 18 on the highway. That's what it gets. It's crazy. As much tech as they throw, and I think, what is this, a 6-speed or 7-speed? Doesn't even matter anymore. As much tech as they throw, I mean, you have like literal carbureted SUVs from back in the day that get about the same, although they're not as emissions friendly. All right, so you guys have seen me do this a million times. It is very, very easy. I'll be done with this whole thing in like an hour, but we're wiping it on, waiting a minute, and then you simply wipe it off. You're done with that section of your beautiful, beautiful red paint. This is another one of those areas that you can fix up on a car. See, it's all faded, and it'll make it look so much newer. Very nice, very nice. So some of this is staining, so this isn't perfect, but that looks a million times better. And let's get some tire shine on here too. The tires on this thing are in really good shape, so let's make them look that way. As this dries, it won't be as shiny, but that looks great. I'll show you guys in a few minutes outside the whole kit and caboodle of the exterior refresh, well, outside of a couple little bits and pieces that are flying in the mail right now. All right, guys, here you have it. This is the exterior after, well, about a full day. Here it is from the driver's side. And man, I gotta say, this is a great, great color. If I was gonna buy one of these new, I wouldn't ever, but I would consider this color. This is really, really cool. I think it matches the wheels perfectly as well, which I do think were powder coated. Let me know in the comments, were those silver from the factory? Either way, this car is straight as an arrow. There's no rust, there's really no dents either. So now that the paint looks much better than it did, it really kind of fits the bill. I mean, this thing did not look the best at the auction. It was very dirty. The suspension in the back was sagging, and it's probably why it didn't catch the attention of many bidders. This thing had been ran multiple times, but it looked like your typical super abused and neglected BMW. But you know, after about a day of what I just did, this is what the car actually looks like. All right, it's a beautiful day. I think I'm gonna clean up the interior outside. Honestly, for what I'm doing with this car, which is essentially just flipping it most likely back at the wholesale auction, I don't need to do a ton. They're already gonna consider this interior mint, except when I bought it, the listing said that it had stained seats for stupid stuff like that, and stuff like that. I have a few tools outside ready to go. Carpet cleaner, steam cleaner, and depending on how aggressive we wanna get, we have this. Release works really well in a brush, or if we need to get tough stuff, and the drill brush thing. I like to start off least aggressive. And let's see if this will just come out. Oh yeah, this is just gonna come out. And we'll give this a wipe as well. And there goes all the blue. Okay, so that seat is not stained anymore. These should be fairly easy. Little wipe. Yeah. We're gonna be okay. Those are now gone. They don't tell you specifically what the stains are, but this is all I can find, really. All right, that's pretty much gone. Yeah, goodbye. Cleaning up this stuff is always satisfying. Little spray. I don't go too crazy around the shifters. You just do one of these there. Don't want to get too much liquid in there. Over here is fine, though. What's nice is none of this is scratched up. And let's see, how's this? That's nice. And that, wow, yeah, not bad. All right, not bad. The steam really helps to get into nooks and crannies. Give it a nice disinfection. And so for the shifter and cup holder area, we went from this all the way to this, and the writing on all the buttons on this car is in good shape. The cup holders look nice and clean now. Big improvement. Next is this. I already did a couple spots, so I know it'll look good. Give it a nice spray down, and we're going right for the drill. These little attachments will save you a ton of time. I love them. Just got done cleaning up the armrest. Oh no, guys, I'm just backing this car out to bring it around back, and the check engine light is back. I was just moving the GN back into the wash bay. The GN is a nice car that doesn't give me any trouble at all. This may not be that. I mean, no surprise, right? Reduced power on the heads-up display. What in the world is that? No. This is a different code than before, but it is on exhaust, variable camshaft timing 2, bank 2. Okay. No. Oh, it's running so bad. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, listen to this. Oh, this thing is in bad shape, guys. Shutting it down. Guys, what in the world? This thing was perfect. It was perfect after cleaning out the solenoids. Then it just had a bad coil. Now that's fixed. And let's go back to trouble codes now that it's flashing. That's the same thing. Something really bad's happening with this exhaust camshaft. Look, even with the engine off, it's still flashing. BMW is the only car that can have a catalyst damaging misfire. That's what a flashing check engine light means, with the engine off. Look at the freeze frame data here. This is the exhaust cam on bank 2. And look at that. I don't think this adjuster is doing anything at all. It's supposed to be though 119. Yeah, that's not good. Hold on, I gotta see this. Yeah, what's it doing? Yeah, look at that with it running. That is bad. Oh, no, it's fine. Guys, these cars are the absolute worst. Just complete and utter nightmares with almost like no redeeming qualities as far as this engine goes. It's bad, and I have been warned. I erased the code and scanned it again, and now we're back to the original code. So same cam, but a reference code instead of a timing code. Whatever, obviously still an issue there. With just that code though, the readings aren't that often. It doesn't run that bad. I wanna try something, guys. Let's warm up this oil. So remember our solenoid was kind of dirty. Imagine that kind of stuff gunked up inside of the camshaft adjuster, which is something that physically has to move. So it could be frozen. And this stuff is amazing. I use it on a lot of these older abandoned vehicles that have been sitting around for a while. Like on my DeLorean, it sat for like 40 years or whatever. I put some of this, changed the oil, all this black stuff came out. It was awesome. Now the oil looks mint. So we're gonna run this. It only takes about 15 minutes. You put it in a hot engine and then it fixes every single one of your BMW engine issues. I'm just kidding. But in this case, it is possible to fix an adjuster if it's just simply stuck. Again, I don't have high hopes for this, and this came with the building. I don't know what's going on here, all right? The previous owner put this here. And I guess he doesn't like skateboarders. I like skateboarders. You guys are cool. I wish I could skateboard. So if you guys are using this for maintenance purposes, you just dump it in, have your engine warmed up, and you're gonna let it run for about 15, 20 minutes, and then you're just gonna change your oil. So this is something you use before you change your engine oil. There we go. Of course, I like the AMSOIL brand, but there's probably a bunch of good engine flushes. Just make sure they're the ones that tell you to drain it out. Some of them tell you to keep it in there for way too long, like drive it around for 600 miles and stuff like that. No. On a warm engine, 15, 20 minutes should be enough time for a good engine flush to get in there and clean it all out. You know, it's kind of like it's like a colonoscopy for an engine. You don't have to, but I think I'm gonna go for just a quick leisurely stroll around the block and just go for a little drive. Light drive though, you don't wanna go too crazy. All right, I'll see you guys in 15 minutes. We'll clear the codes and see where we go from there. All right, well, I'm back from the drive. The flush didn't fix it, at least not yet. We still have this code. Back to the drawing board. All right, guys, it is the next morning, and I've had time to kind of ponder what's going on here and do more research on the N63 engine, and I knew that these early ones were very unreliable, but man, oh man, I did not understand the extent of how bad these engines are. Listen to this conversation that I had with OJ over at Fluid Motor Union. He used to be a master tech for BMW, and they work on a ton of these over at Fluid. What's up, OJ?
Hey, Alex, how's it going?
Good, man, good, man. Tell me about the ridiculousness of this engine.
Oh boy, where to start? The main issue being is that it really doesn't have great fault detection on these processors and the control units. So a lot of times that leads technicians into places where they're replacing one component only to have it be multiple components. So BMW, in their ultimate wisdom, and because these cars were having so many issues and so many different faults, kind of made a stop loss, which they called I believe it was called the customer care package and timing check procedure. It was like a labor op that you could mark down if you were a service tech. And what it actually ended up being was you replaced one of like up to 5 components, which it really just turned into you replacing all 5 components. Also checked the timing and did the timing if it was out of range. So basically, that whole package would turn into a complete disassembly of the engine.
Okay, and what were some of these components?
Air mass meters, high pressure fuel pumps, the vacuum pump, hoses going to and from the turbo and the crankcase. I believe like those were the major components, but then you could sublet things like spark plugs and ignition coils. Like I said, that also included the check of the timing, which oftentimes it turned into you having to do the timing chain. So basically, this thing was a factory approved hero package. They decided that it would be cheaper if they just did 50 plus hours of labor and thousands of dollars in parts all at once.
Wow. And you're not going to do the timing chains without doing the actuators and the solenoids and the guides, obviously. And yeah.
You can see how quickly it would spiral out of control, and heaven forbid you had a complaint of a smoking engine as well.
Valve guides, cylinder heads going out. Yeah, I've read all about that. So, all right, awesome. Sounds good. Thank you very much. I appreciate it as always.
Have fun, man. Good luck.
Thanks, man. Talk to you. Bye.
All right, bye.
So basically, the short of it is, this is the first generation of this Hot V V8 engine from BMW. They came out with so many updates on every single part. And in 2012, they called it the TU engines, the technical update engine, because they just had 3 years of this failing and they updated a ton. So this is one of the original, and I'm gonna call BMW here in a few moments, and we're gonna find out if this has ever had that done, because it would have been under warranty. But remember, the ignition coils were original. I don't think anything's been touched. All right, so I do have a game plan though. I wanna check out the camshaft position sensors. Get out. There we go. So we're gonna take these air intake tubes off again, and our air boxes. There are 2 sensors on top of the valve cover. They're the same, so we can switch them. We have to go through the madness of removing all of this plastic stuff and these braces. I don't think you sedan guys have to deal with that, but just getting the air box off is a pain in the butt. This right here, this is the issue. It hits this bar. All right. There's that. Actually, air filters probably look pretty good. All right, so here is one of the connectors to one of the sensors, and the other one is here. You can't see it. Looks really hard to get to. What else is new? I'll tell you something that's not new. This high pressure fuel pump, and this is direct injected. Again, you can't really see it, but you can see the lines. The fuel injectors are down here, and I was looking at the part number. They look to be original, and there's 2 high pressure fuel pumps, and this was another big issue. The injectors are now on revision number 12, I believe, and these are number 1s. So yeah, and the fuel pumps, they came out with updated ones a bunch of times as well, and check this out. So keep in mind, this is more at the dealership, but you're looking at about $3,300 for all 8 injectors and another $800 for both the fuel pumps. So with tax and shipping and everything, you're looking at like a $4,300 fuel system, and these things actually do fail. And the problem here is, even if you want to do something as simple as removing the valve covers, you're supposed to take the injectors out. And supposedly there's tricks with jacking the engine up, but these are direct injectors. You have to use a slide hammer on them. There is a very good chance that you mess one of these up, or they just are bad because they're the first version. So just checking the timing and removing the valve covers and doing all that is like a 12-hour job, and you risk like a $4,000 fuel system just to check. All right. Disconnected it, and it's a 5mm Allen. Here is one of the cam sensors. Not a whole lot to see here. For the harder to reach one on the bottom, I had to leave the connector connected. I couldn't get to it. There it is. The seal on this one was actually bad. It's leaking quite a bit of oil, and there was oil dripping down on the oil pan from up top at the back of the head, so this could have been that. All right, you know I gotta go in there with the borescope, and wow, look at these craters here. This is the part of the cam that the sensor uses as a pickup. Okay, and we'll check out the other one, same deal. Okay, this could be totally normal. Can't say I've ever seen anything like this before, but inside of here, it doesn't look sludged up. This actual cam lobe looks pretty decent. Everything's exaggerated right up close with the LED lights, but no crazy smoking gun here. All right, I've lubricated the seals. This is plugged in, ready to go back. So this one used to be over here. So the idea is similar to why I switched over the Vanos solenoids. If the problem followed the solenoid, it would code up for the intake cam, because originally we had the exhaust cam codes. Now that obviously did not happen. Now we have the exact same code, even though those are switched. But it's possible it's the sensor. I mean, this is what gives the reference back. We are getting reference codes. And like OJ was saying, the diagnostics here are just, they're not the best. They're not the best in this engine. I mean, even the dealer was just throwing parts until the problem went away, basically. It's funny, I had a subscriber reach out. He's got 200,000 miles on his N63. And I'm like, oh, wow, that's pretty good. And I actually talked to him and I'm like, how did you make it that long? Well, he bought it at 120,000 miles, and BMW had just done the customer care package, timing chains, guides, Vanos solenoids, actuators, just literally everything. And then a bunch of other parts have been updated. And then at 200,000, he's doing it again. Like, he needs another chain and guides and everything. And I'm like, that's not really that impressive, actually, being at 200,000 miles and needing that twice. It's hard to tell, but I have both of these switched. So let's get the air box back on and we'll see what happens. So what we're looking here is for the intake cam to have the issue. All right, we'll go ahead and clear all of this before we start it up again. Yes. Okay, nothing at the moment, but it should code up right away. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, you can tell it's running bad. Oh, she's angry. She is angry. Oh, there we go. Settle down. Settle down. Read codes. Yeah, same one. Same one. It is still on camshaft 2. All right, let's shut her down.
For our BMW options, press 1.
I'm calling the dealer right now. I was wondering, if I give you my VIN number, could you tell me if my car had the customer care package done? It's one of the ones with the N63 V8 engine that had all the issues.
Are you the original owner of the vehicle?
No.
Unfortunately, I cannot disclose any of that information by law.
Why?
A service before you're the owner, that's private information we cannot share.
That's a law?
Correct.
Like a state law?
It's a state law, correct.
Well, what if I'm just trying to fix my car? I don't want to order a timing chain from you guys if it's been done.
You can purchase the Carfax.
That doesn't get very specific. It'll just say like engine work or something like that.
I understand, sir. Just by law, unfortunately, we just cannot provide private information from a previous owner.
It's not private though. It's warranty work done in a car that I own. I don't need the previous owner's name.
I understand. Just we cannot provide
Okay.
that.
All right, great. Thanks, man. I don't believe that at all. I literally used to work at Mercedes-Benz, and if people called in like that, we would give them that information. Let's just call another one. So anyway, the reason I want to call is to find out what's been done to this engine, but also because BMW was sued and they lost, they have to sell a complete long block at a loss, and it's supposedly a pretty good deal, and it comes, you know, the whole engine, like with the heads and all the cams, adjusters, timing chain, everything is already set up. I'm just curious exactly how much that is and exactly what it comes with.
BMW service.
Yeah, hey, I was wondering if I give you my VIN number, if you were able to tell me if my car had the timing chain service done on it yet?
Sure. Give me 1 second.
Perfect.
An 09X650.
Yep, that's it.
There was a recall where they checked the timing chain back in 2016.
Okay.
That is all I got on it, though.
Oh, so they didn't actually replace them?
No, it just says they checked it.
Okay. Does it show any other like major engine work done on this thing under warranty? Because I know they had a bunch of recalls where they might have replaced a lot of stuff.
They replaced the coolant pump under warranty, airbag, fuel pump, airbag. That's pretty much it.
That's it. Okay, so no real
Yeah.
engine work done. Okay. All right,
No.
that's what I figured. It kind of looks original in here. So, okay, cool. Can you do me a favor? Could you transfer me to the parts department?
Absolutely. 1 moment, sir.
Great, thank you. Yeah, hey, I was wondering if you could give me a quote on a new engine for my BMW, and I'm looking to get the long block.
You're looking at like $5,712.
$5,700. Okay. Okay. Would that engine come with the fuel injectors or the fuel pumps?
Looks like it's just the block itself. I don't see the high pressure pump on there or anything like that.
Okay, but
I don't think I don't think it even has ignition coils. So
Right.
I think it's all separate.
cool. And then can you quote me out on both turbos if I needed to replace both turbos?
Turbos just by themselves, $2,146.86 each, and that's each. And then also there's an additional $550 for the cores on those. There's an install kit that's like $330 each.
Okay, so like right around probably $5,000 for turbos, something like that.
Right around there, yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Like I said, it's not including the core charges either.
Right. All right, great. Well, I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Yeah, no problem.
All right, have a good one. Thanks.
You too, thanks.
Oh man, that is a lot. People were saying there was like 35 to 4,000 for the whole long block. Honestly, even at that price, that's a good deal because the camshaft actuators alone are like $600-700 each. There's 4 of them. Then you have the timing chain, the guides. I mean, each cam is $1,100 if you need that. So if you're gonna take the engine out and do the timing chain job at $112,000, you're gonna do the actuators too. You literally might as well just buy the entire long block assembled by BMW, but then you have this old Generation 1 fuel system that you cannot trust at all, and that's like another $4,300 plus you still have 112,000 miles on everything else, all the brittle plastic stuff that always leaks in the cooling system, the radiator, the alternator, the starter. I mean, the list goes on, guys. This is just crazy. All right, guys, I don't know if I'm willing to dump that kind of coin into a non-M X6. This isn't exactly a vehicle I've always dreamt of having. It's cool, but I am willing to gamble this $120 camshaft solenoid. Now, I know this doesn't make any sense because we did switch them and it didn't follow to the intake side, but I did clean them, and all of this stuff is super finicky. That's why you don't really want to take apart anything if you don't have to. So who knows? The other one could have gone bad and we fixed the other one. I don't know, I'm grasping, but I'm a pro at the job. We just got to get this intercooler out of the way. Support bar coming out again. All right, so weasel it out, a couple of clips. Goodbye. Since we have to move the intercooler, we have to remove the hoses. I don't want to lose any fluid, so those are clamped off. You guys know this if you saw the first video on this car. We're gonna lose a little there though. We'll plug it up and then just put one of these caps on. This one's good, but we'll cap it off anyway, just like that. All right, after removing 3 very difficult to get to and see intercooler bolts, we just have the clamp that goes onto the throttle body, and it helps to remove the connector for the throttle body, which is something else you guys can't see right now. It's just, trust me, it's there. It should be loose enough. So swivel 7 really helps. All right, now we just have this 5 mil. Disconnect this V-band. This is my favorite part of the car. Just such a nice connection here at the turbo. Now this is all loose. And we'll shimmy it off the throttle body like that. All right, and we'll get this completely out of the way. And hey, we're here again. The solenoids are the most common issue when you're getting codes like this, and I don't believe this engine is actually out of time because we had these codes when I first got it at the auction. I took those solenoids out, cleaned them, and then the car ran beautifully for a couple of days. So it wouldn't have done that if the timing was off, and now we're just randomly back in the same situation. Let's use one 10 millimeter, and we'll just pull this thing out. There we go. Here she is, the old intake solenoid, and you can see my little eye for intake. So I definitely switched them. I wish I had messed up and not switched them. That would be great. But let's go ahead and just give it a try. It's worth the hour and a half. Oh, and I have done an inspection on the electrical side. Everything seems to be okay there. And again, it did work for like 3 days. All right, let's get this new guy in there. All right, new solenoid is installed and plugged in. So now I'm going to get this guy back on there, kind of temporarily, or not, if it fixes it. All right, everything is back together, and we're about to start this, and if it doesn't fix it, I may end up burying this thing like Hoopy did with his. I think his was a similar color, too. Crazy story. You guys had let me know he had one of these, and I watched some of the videos, but it was supposed to be an M. I mean, it was an M, but they put an N63 instead of an S63 engine in it. So that's crazy. But anywho, let's go ahead and erase. Okay. No codes at the moment. Start it up. We should know pretty soon here. Still running okay. Read codes. Whoa, no codes. No codes. All right, this is deja vu. It's idling down. This is exactly how it was fixed. Well, not exactly, I didn't replace anything, but when I switched them, fired it up and it was fine. And now it's fine again. It runs great. Look at that. And obviously I've been messing with this for a couple of days now. You know, it would just happen right away. I would clear the codes out and it would just, you know, all right, let's read codes again. And no codes. Okay, so now we have to go for a test drive. Let's see what happens. This is where it could again see some kind of different load value and fault up again. Please be fixed, please be fixed. So this is what the exhaust sounded like before. And here's what it sounds like now. Big difference. All right, here we go. We're in drive, 6 miles per gallon. Honestly, it's about right in the city if you're beating on this thing. All right, here we go. That feels peppy, just like the first maiden voyage after cleaning the solenoids. It felt great, just at part throttle. Didn't last long. Running good, running good. Okay, got up to about 3,500 RPM. Still running good. Nothing on the check engine light front. Feels great, guys. I don't know if we made it this far before. This feels really good. I'm not gonna go too crazy here. Just probably like quarter throttle. Wow. It's never done that before. Definitely never done that before. It's running beautifully, no check engine light. But like a lot of electronics, we have to wait till things heat up. As you can see here, our oil temperature is still pretty low, so I gotta keep driving. Feels great though, man. This thing's pretty quick. Did we fix this again? All right, guys, oil temp is up there. Everything is properly warmed up. That's wide open throttle. First time. I mean, yeah, no check engine light. You know what stinks about BMWs though is it makes that little chime thing whenever a warning pops up, and it could be like for a brake light bulb. Oh, I just got a check engine light. Oh, what I was saying was it could be for like a brake light bulb or for a check engine light. Hold on, why didn't it do the little... Yeah, it's still running totally fine. Well, you know what every BMW owner needs is some kind of scan tool. Okay, now we got catalytic converter codes. Great. Never had these before. I mean, come on, I'm erasing these. This thing was running bad for so long that they could have gotten fouled out a little bit. Okay, they're gone. We're gonna pretend those never happened. But yeah, still running good though. No cam codes. Those are the only ones I really care about. Cam, misfire codes. Anyway, hot B. It's running good. Yeah. No way. This is crazy, guys. I seriously was not expecting that to fix it. I really wasn't. I mean, I had to try because it is the most common part to fail in this whole Vano system. But honestly, I was expecting this to just basically need a timing chain and every other millions of other parts. And then honestly, at that point, it's like, to me, it's not worth fixing. If you don't love the car, I wouldn't waste the time. I mean, you would end up losing money on a car you don't like, which is no fun. You don't want to work on a car like that. But anyway, this thing sounds pretty good. Oh, that wasn't even sport mode. Man, when they work, they work. I gotta say, just own them under warranty and you're good. I mean, that's a nice car. Still good. It's still perfect. I got nothing, people. Oh, and let's do a little valve guide seal test now that we've gotten this up to operating temperature. We'll rev it up. She runs good, guys. The part for the missing washer cover just came in, and it's all set up in the paint booth. A little test spot, looks good. And we'll just do some light coats here. Coat number 1. And while that first coat is flashing off, I've made a little bit of touch-up paint. I just sprayed some in a cap, and these little dabbers work so well. We'll pick up some of this paint. We'll find a chip, and just give it a really light dab like that. There we go. A little bit goes a long way. You don't want to just glob it on because then you'll have to sand it off later. And we can touch this up pretty nice. All right, we'll let that flash off too. So the true color comes out when it dries. You can already see it going away. It was right there. Coat number 2 on our cover. All right, and we'll keep going back and forth. While that's drying, a little bit more chip repair. She gone. All right, guys, it's definitely not perfect, but this is what it looks like after with a little touch-up. To get this perfect, we'd have to remove the bumper, have it sanded all the way down, and repainted, but we're flipping this car. It's not that big of a deal. It's a 2009. It's expected to have some touch-up, especially on the bumpers. But what we do want to replace is this light right here. Before we do that, we're bouncing around a little bit. We need to give this a final wet coat. Here's what it looks like with our metallic base coat. And our final step here is some clear coat to bring out the glossy goodness of this piece. And now we'll let that dry overnight. All right, we just got our new lens in, and you're supposed to take the entire rear bumper off to get to the screws for this, but I think I can fit my little tiny Sonic quarter drive socket in there. You see that? Those are the 2 screws. And I just need to get my hand in here. You can do it. It's working. Wow. I mean, one of them. Okay. That sucked, but it's out. New part going in. Sorry, I can't really take you with, guys. I can't even see in here. I'm just kind of feeling around. Here it is, here it is. There we go. She's in. The lens is in. It's aftermarket. The fitment wasn't the best, but I got it in there. All right, headlight washer is complete. And it doesn't look like these actually work. Or it was an option and they just put the little covers there on every car, I'm not sure. But that's okay, it's going back to the dealer auction. And on a 15-year car, they're not testing every little feature like that. I mean, obviously, they're not inspecting a whole lot. They listed this thing as having a cracked engine, but that's the world of auctions for you. I'll give this a final wipe down when we're totally done, but the back end is put back together. We have our floor mats and our sunshade in. Let us close the X6 hatch. And I'm gonna do something now that no one else does selling a car at a dealer auction. I'm gonna replace parts that technically don't need to be replaced right now and may not add any value to this car whatsoever. And that part is the other camshaft solenoid on this bank. So the most proper repair is to replace these in pairs. And if you guys watch the other videos, you know that this is the one that used to be right here that was throwing the original fault. So even though it's working great right now, that part did fail under my ownership of this vehicle, and it just doesn't sit right with me that I wouldn't replace it. Now, the reason I say that most places won't do this is dealerships selling 15-year-old cars barely do anything to the cars. They don't invest any money at all. So you can only imagine what they put into a car that goes to a dealership auction, and this is why you guys have to watch out if you're buying cars, well, from any auction. If you got a buddy with a license or whatever, you never really know what you're getting. It's a gamble. The cars could look really nice and not function properly. This one will, and I don't want any problems. I'm gonna have this thing fully inspected by the auction, but yeah, this is the right way to do it, so we're gonna do it. Now, you guys have seen this job quite a few times. Your camshaft solenoid experts on the good old N63, but here she is, working fine now, and I have a feeling that the fact that I ran that motor flush through this has really helped out. I highly recommend you do that on your N63 engine. All these little passages need to be perfectly clean. Another new solenoid going to its new home. All right, this job is complete. Everything's plugged in. I'll wrap up the rest of all of this. You've seen me do that a few times. And then we're almost done. All right, this is all put back together. Goodbye. And without jinxing myself, I think this thing's almost ready to go. I just finished giving it a wipe down because the auction inspector is almost here to give it its condition report so we can get this listed. I want to get all the warning lights off the cluster as well, so we have to set the time. There we go. It's got a light bulb issue, left brake lamp. Let's fix that. We'll set the time, and that should be it. This thing will be free of warning lights, which is a big deal because they list all the warning lights. All right, we're setting the time right now. There we go. All right, that one's gone. And let's see if we can find this bad bulb. I think it's gonna be this one here. Hopefully it's just the bulb. Yep, this bulb is bad. I can't find a single filament straight in the shop, so we're gonna steal one from another, well, unreliable German car. My CL65, it's gotta be good for something, right? Let's see, is it this one? Oh yeah, single straight. Oh yeah, this bulb was very, very bad. So let's get this guy in here. A little twisteroo, there we go. All right, there's that. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. We have no warning lights on, running beautifully. This thing's not telling us anything bad. And this was an issue with these cars too. This works perfectly though. Super fast, no delay, no issues, no freezing, nothing. We're good. All right, the inspector just drove it. Now he's gonna do some pictures. This is always a little nerve-wracking, but so far so good. It's working well. I gotta say, this color is amazing. He's hooking up his scan tool right now. The scan went well. Now he's taking all of the pictures for the listing. And there are a bunch of different dealer auctions. I got my license last year and I signed up for a bunch of them. And if you guys are curious, I kind of had to get my dealer license, and it was a big, big process in Illinois. You have to have a physical location. It has to be zoned properly. I had to go in front of the city twice. It's a big deal, but it's been a dream of mine forever. I think a lot of car enthusiasts dream of having a dealer license where you can just buy and sell cars at will and all that. And I finally did it, so I'm able to do cool stuff like this. It's kind of like a whole new level to my car enthusiast lifestyle. It's really cool. Not all the auctions will come to you, and you can just drop the car off at the auction. They grade it there and you leave it there. But with nice cars like this, I don't like the risk. I like to just keep the car on site. It'll go online and sell to another dealer, and then they can pick it up from here. Oh man, he's checking the engine right now, and I totally forgot to put these back on. You guys probably noticed. I gotta get these on before the pictures of the engine. All right, here we go. That's that. That's that. And number two. Okay, now we're good. All right, the inspection went well. I'm gonna go pull this around back and get it in the shop. Oh yeah. She's a beast. Oh no. No, no. Are you kidding me? No, check out your lights. Oh, it's running so bad. Guys, do not buy BMWs with this engine. These are just horrible. I just scanned it for codes, and we are getting a misfire on all the cylinders on the driver's side bank and charge pressure too. And we're getting a bunch of codes for that. Charge pressure switch off, So that's bank 2 as well. I think I may have found the issues. Fingers crossed this is it. Right below this tube, it bolts in right there, is that charge pressure number 2. And this is the connector. And look at the pin. The second one from the right has a bunch of green stuff. Yeah, look at that. Look at that. That's dirty. That could be making a bad contact. So if the pressure sensor isn't reading properly on this side, it's gonna throw off the wastegate actuation and all sorts of other things, and it can cause misfires. This is a really cool de-pinning kit that I got on Amazon, I think for like 20, 30 bucks. It has every possible key for pins ever, but it also comes with these files to clean up your pins. This is sweet. So we can go in here, kind of do one of these, get this green goo out of here. Get out green goo. You're messing up our charge pressure reading. Can't have that on a car with 2 turbochargers. You know what? I'm gonna feel a little bit more comfortable if we take this pin out. So we just pop our tool in. Oh yeah, that is green. And I'm bleeding. I poked myself. Does green corrosion give you tetanus? I guess we'll find out. All right, wipe the blood away. Here's what the pin looks like. We'll use some electrical contact cleaner. Yes, that does burn my cut. And we'll use this little wire brush and get this nice and pretty. All right, we've cleaned this up, looking nice and shiny. Slide the pin back in. Nice little click. And another click. Okay, cool. I'm gonna plug this in. We'll clear the codes, see what happens. Codes are all cleared out. Oh, it started up much better this time. That's good. The last few times it started up and just started shaking like crazy. But sometimes when it idles down is when it starts going nuts. It's starting to idle down. Please be okay, please be okay, please be okay. Okay, it's okay right now. Let's go for a ride. I'm always just a nervous wreck driving this car. I mean, it's just a stressful vehicle. Can we make it out of the parking lot? Can we make it out? It's running good. I'm hoping it's sensing that boost pressure as my computer almost puts us in neutral. All right, here we go, people, here we go. Please, BMW, please, please, I beg of you. Let's give it a little gas. Oh yeah, I would have done it by now. Oh my gosh, I am so lucky because had that happened when the inspector was here, he would have marked this thing just way down and it wouldn't have deserved it. This thing does run well. Oh man, I got lucky, but seriously, this is just a roller coaster, guys. I don't know if I can handle a car like this. It's like, well, I mean, I did have my CL65 if you guys aren't new and know that series. This car has aged me though, I think a couple of years in the last week, roughly. So I was about to be 40, but now I'm gonna be 45. All right, I've driven around a little bit more. It's feeling good. It's feeling really good. All right, here it is, guys. The car is listed. It is live, 3.5 condition report out of 5. That's normal. I think that fits the car very well, and I have it listed for buy it now, $13,000 or make an offer. And right now, this is my only competition, which has a 6-cylinder, 141,000 miles as is, which means you can't return it for any reason. And their starting bid is at 7. This is their value, which is usually way off. Retail comps are kind of all over the place. Here's a 6-cylinder for $12,500. Here's the V8 one like mine for $18,000, another 6-cylinder for $14,000. And obviously, I can get more for it retail, but a car like this I'd rather sell at a dealer auction. At least they know what they're getting themselves into for sure. But look at this beauty. All right, guys, the X6 is back at the shop. It's running beautifully right now, but hopefully this thing isn't here long and it sells. And honestly, I don't recommend you guys really ever buy one of these N63 cars, especially the earlier ones. They are horrible. Something breaks all the time. So even though I'm selling this thing, I'm still gonna tell you guys what I truly think, which is this is the worst engine BMW ever made, and you should not own one. They will definitely break all the time. So obviously I haven't had this thing sold yet. That might take a week or a month or something like that, but I do want to update you guys on what it sells for. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the title of this video with the exact amount that it sells for when it sells. So depending on when you're watching this, it may have already sold by now. So check back, you guys will see the price, and I'll also post it up on all the social media platforms at LegitStreetCars and in the YouTube community section. So I'll keep you guys updated on what this thing sells for, and hopefully it goes away soon and is sold to someone who fully understands what they're getting themselves into. So with that, I hope you guys really enjoyed this little mini series on the X6. If you did, give it a big thumbs up. Share the video with your friends. Subscribe if you haven't already. I have a new project right in front of me that you guys are going to love. That is my friend Phil's twin turbo Ford F-150. They just stopped by for a plug change. But with that, have a fantastic day. I will see all of you in the next video. Because from far away, this car looks good, but from up close, because from far away, this thing looks pretty good, but up close, because from far away, this thing looks pretty good, but up close, it is seen. Because from far away, this thing looks pretty good, but up close, it's definitely seen better days, but the overall blah, blah, blahness, I don't know what I'm looking for here. Are we still recording? Yeah, okay. Like head roll, headlight, B-roll, and I'll get some dang old entire, I can't speak, interior B-roll. And they were able to, and that means that this, I already have B-roll, but yeah, can never have enough roll of the B. Come on with it. Come on with it, focus. There we go, thank you. So basically the short of it is that this is the first generation of this engine. They made that. It's hard to tell, but I have these swapped. Everything is plugged in. Let's get the airbags. Yeah, totally forgot what I was saying.